Hello, students, and welcome to this instructional video on your project that has begun in week 4. So this is the company research project. I'm going to go over how to go about doing this, what you need to do, the process, and I'm also going to help you in terms of the research and discuss a little bit about what you're supposed to do and the instructions and how to go about actually finding the research. So this is not just discussing how to do the project and what the expectations are. I'm also going to walk over some of the research with you so you can see what needs to be done, and it'll help you complete the project a lot easier. So first things first, this assignment or this project's in week 4. And you'll see right here some basic instructions. And what you're doing is you're taking the S&P 500, which is the Standard & Poor's 500, a list of 500 companies, and you're choosing any company of your choice. No duplications from any other students. So pick a company you want to use. You're going to go on the discussion board, and you're going to take that company you want to use, and you're going to post it on the discussion board. So here's a little link over here, and you can actually use this link to look at those companies. So you would go on the discussion board here, just click the discussion board. You'll see right here, individual company project. You would click on this and you would post, and I would approve it. As long as you're checking to make sure that no one else is doing your project and you make a post and no one else has made your post, you should assume you're good to start researching. But I will click on your topic and approve it so you can move forward and start it. So we're going to click here. This is in the week 4 folder, company research project, and it's going to bring up the instructions. So we're going to click on instructions. I'm going to open this up, and you have all the instructions here. And there's 2 components to the company research project. And you can see the due dates begins 11/14, due 11/30. When you do your company research report, the first thing that matters is the research and the questions that you need to answer. The second part of the research report is actually a presentation. You do not need to do that by this due date. All right, the presentation is due at the very end of the semester. And the presentation is going to be you recording yourself, just like me talking right now, presenting your project. I may just have you submit a PowerPoint presentation with a script. If you're having issues, I will make a decision on how the final result will be. For now, the expectation is to submit a video, 3-4 minute video, 5-minute video of yourself talking. I don't need a presentation deck with it. Literally, you can download Zoom, create a room, click record, upload the recording on Blackboard. You can do all that in under 15 minutes. It's very easy. But I'll give more instructions on that second part later. So you don't have to do the second part of the company research report, which is the presentation for now. For now, you're just focused on the research component. And that's what we're discussing now is the research. It's the most important part of it, actually. So you're going to look here, and you'll see there's links here. If I hit Control on my keyboard, the mouse turns into a finger, and I can left click on that if you're using Microsoft or Windows, and it can bring me to the link. So if I do that, I'm having a verification error, so I skip verification, and it brings me to Wikipedia, and I can see all the companies here. So pick one, right? So let's say I choose Allstate. I'm going to do Allstate, I say. So I choose Allstate. go to discussion board. I click over here, create a thread. I say Allstate. I type in whatever I want to say. I'll see your name when you post, and I would hit submit. There you go. So you've just submitted your proposal for the company research project you want to propose. The reason I'm having you go on the discussion board to do that is because everyone else can see it. So that way we won't have any duplications on the project. Otherwise, I just have you pick a company and just submit it. So you want to go ahead and first submit something. And now we'll come back here. Let's actually look at what we need to do. So you've just submitted to me what company you want to do. You've chosen your company. You've made sure there's no duplications. Now you have to do the work, right? So these are some examples of companies you can choose. So the first section is your introduction. Tell me the company. Which stock exchange is the company traded? And what is the ticker of that company? So, company ticker symbol. If you look at that Wikipedia that I just brought up, the ticker symbol is listed there. Right, so Allstate, symbol. You even see the SEC filings, which we'll go into a little later. And there's ALL. So you see your company, that's their ticker symbol. Real simple. So you find your ticker symbol. I'm going to go back to here. So you answer the questions, the company name, the stock exchange, you can Google that, simple, easy to find, the ticker symbol, how to contact this company via postal mail, phone number, so on and so forth. And I give you a little tip, and you'll see here, tip, go to Yahoo Finance. I put the link for you. Okay, I added this for you. If you look at some of the other business courses, you won't always see this information here. So I added this little tip for you. So control click. And we're now in Yahoo Finance. And it wants me to pay a 1-year subscription. We're not going to do that. So what was my ticker? ALL. Allstate Corporation. So I'm pulling up the corporation. And when you do that, Yahoo has all this information. And they keep trying to sell you stuff, right? But we can click out of that. And they're selling you all this information. But this is free. And you can see here historical data, financials, analysis, stock information. And what this assignment is asking you to do, it wants you to find certain information here. So it's telling you, hey, find this information, find that information. And all of it is listed here on Yahoo Finance. I type in the ticker symbol that brought up the company. I can now start to look at the information, right? So I can click on profile. And I can see all the key executives. Oh, I can see their address, their phone number. Oh, what sector they're in. Seems like some of the questions here, right? Okay, so you see how you can find your information, how you can answer this. I gave you the tip. There it is. Okay. The second part is the company profile. I just clicked on that. Well, there you go. Now the company's financial performance, their total revenue, the following numbers for the most recent year. Guess where you're going to find all that? You're going to find it here. Okay. You can look at their financials, their income statement, total revenue. So a lot of that information is listed here already. And then you can actually look at annually, quarterly, their balance sheet, their cash flow statement. So a lot of the information that is being asked of you is already listed here. So this really helps save a lot of time, saves a lot of time on your assignment because you can find a lot of this information already. One specific question is asking is find the company's top revenue source. You have to find the company's 10K to do that. So to find their 10K, you actually need to go on their website and pull up their 10K. And I'll show you how you go about doing that. I just want to jump to the third section really quick, competitive environment. You do have to look at a competitor, right? So a competitor for Allstate would be State Farm, different insurance company. So make sure you're familiar with the company that you are researching. If you're not sure who competitors are, you could literally type in your company name and competitor and you would find a competitor. So you will have to find another competitor or a competitor to the company you chose. And you may have to do some basic research. So you may have to go to Yahoo Finance, type in that ticker symbol to find some of the information that's being asked for you, such as total revenue and net income. So that was very easy to find on the financial section of the company we just researched. I would just do the same thing for the competitor. Okay. And they're wanting at least one competitor in the S&P 500 company. And most likely you'll find a competitor there. If for some reason you don't, or you're not able to, if it is a popular competitor, I won't be too picky about it, but please refer to the S&P 500 because chances are there is a competitor on there. So you do need to find that information. I just showed you how to do it. It took me a couple of seconds to do it, so you should be able to get that information very quickly. And you can rewind this video to see how I did it, and I'll show you again how to do that and answer the questions, right? So they want you to be able to then do a sort of analysis. Competitor, limit this section to about 1 page, about 3 paragraphs. Competitor discussion, so the name and its financial performance. So that's the information you can also find on Yahoo Finance. Weakness, threat. These are characteristic business analysis, sort of a form or function of how you analyze a business. You're looking at the competitor's weakness and their threats, sort of like a SWOT analysis of some sort. Not too picky about you using the SWOT functionality, but you are having to do some research in the competitor. What are some weaknesses? What are some threats in regards to the competitors? So they're looking at, they want you to sort of look at the 10K. The 10K is a financial document. I'm going to show you what that is in a bit. Of the competitor and also of your company, and trying to sort of create this analysis between the company you chose and the competitor, looking at their financials, their revenue. And if you read the instructions, it says check out the major heading in item 1A and identify at least 2 issues that can be classified as a weakness and 2 that can be classified as a threat. So what does that mean? What are we talking about? We're going to pull up the 10K and you'll have an idea to see what's going on. I just want to go over all the sections of the project first. So you're not scared about it. You're not worried about it. You can see just through this casual conversation we're having right now, it was really easy for me to pull up the information. It was really easy for me to find the data I was looking for and grab it and put it in here. So we've kind of already completed 2 sections together, well, at least section 1 and part of section 2 together, just from one link. So it's not, this shouldn't take too long. This shouldn't take up weeks of your time. You don't have weeks of your time, but this is not too challenging. That's why I'm going with it through you, so you're not wasting your time. You know, this is an accelerated course. You could try to figure out yourself, but I'm helping you save time so you can just get the work done. Okay. The 4th section is a conclusion. It's asking you questions, answer the questions. It tells you how long roughly each part should be. Just read these instructions very clearly. Look at what it's asking you and answer it. Okay. You need to create a separate Word document and answer these questions in that Word document. And then you're going to submit it and upload it on Blackboard, which I'll show you at the end. Okay, and then the conclusion here has a SWOT analysis. They're asking that you include an information literacy certificate. They inform me as a professor that you should be aware of what that is because you've taken a course on that and that it's something you're familiar with. But I will discuss that a little more in detail and show you what that is and what it pertains to, what you're supposed to submit or include in your information literacy certificate. When you submit the assignment, you would attach it to your deliverable. The essay format and limit, no more than 4 pages. Your essay should be around 2 to 4 pages. And you see this little SWOT analysis here? It's real simple. Your company and the competitor. List a strength of your company, list a strength of your competitor, right? This company makes 10 million a year in revenue. This company makes 12 million in revenue. This company is really good at marketing and advertising. This company is really good at retention, client retention. If you literally type in your company's name and then type in the word SWOT in an Internet Explorer or Google search, it'll pull up so many SWOT analyses on those companies. If you even pulled up both companies' names and typed in the word SWOT, you would find probably comparisons because these are some of the top companies in the nation. There's so much business material, literature, analysis in these companies. You can find this information really easily. So you don't have to really use too much thinking to really analyze. A lot of the research is out there. And that's why this is called a research project. You have to just research, right? They're giving you a framework of what to do. Find the answers. That's what a lot of this is. Research is about knowing where to find the answers, taking that data and information, and then expressing it in a way where you can understand how it's relevant to whatever the question is. So you're being given questions. And what I'm showing you is that the data is out there. Just take it, use it, explain it to me. And that's what you need to do. So I'm walking you through this so you're not nervous and feeling like, oh my gosh, there's so much work and I got to do a company research project. I'm showing you where the answers are. I'm showing you how to find them, what to do. You know, I'm not doing the work for you, right? I'm just helping you understand how to strategize your research and how to go about finding what you need. So you could explain to me, because you still have to write it out. You still have to explain to me what you found, what it means, answer the questions. You still have to read the instructions and do what's being told. So you still have to do the work, but I'm helping you with bringing you to the water, showing you where the water is, where you need to drink from, versus telling you it's in the desert, good luck, go out there, find it, you know, and you're Google searching and trying to find stuff in the library. I'm just saving you some time, okay? So it'd be easier for you. So I do want to go back to section 2. I do want to go back to the 10K, all right? And I'm going to come back to Allstate real quick and just let you know profile and financials. You can find a lot of the information you need there. So those are the 2 key things. You keep keying the ticker symbol, which we found on Wikipedia, and that's how I was able to pull up Allstate's information. So now I'm kind of curious about Allstate's 10K. So I'm going to use good old Google. If you want to use DuckDuckGo or something else, that's up to you. And I'm going to type in Allstate. And I want to go to their website, the company website. And I'm just looking at their website. I'm looking to see if I can go to their corporate website or find their corporate information. Allstate Corporation. All right. You want to find the part of their website that has their corporate information. And usually it's at the bottom. Usually it would be at the bottom somewhere. But in this situation, and maybe they might have a sitemap. So you just need to navigate and find their corporate website. And this is more this is not about, the corporate website is not a website that's customer facing. It's more investor facing. So it's geared toward the investors, is geared toward the company versus the customer logging on to State Farm and, sorry, Allstate. Allstate. I hope I haven't been saying State Farm. I meant to say Allstate. It shows you how similar they are in my mind. Allstate in particular has their client-facing website, which is what we just looked at before, right? Get a quote, insurance, claims. It's for the customer. We want to find their corporate website. And the reason why is because we want to find a section that says investors right here. And we want to find their 10K. The 10K is their annual filing report, has all their tax information. That's what we need to find for our assignment. If I Googled, oh, professor, this is confusing. Oh, I can't find the company website, corporate, whatever, hard, right? So if I just type in Allstate 10K 2021, Google knows, right? And I can probably find a Google link, their filings. Oh, most recent 10K. I wonder if that's what I'm looking for. So you can find it, okay? It's not like you can't find it. You'll find it. But I just want to show you traditionally how you do it. You find the investor section. Sometimes it's confusing and you don't know where to find it, so you can click on sitemap. And you can sort of quickly look and see. I just scroll past deliberately, and you can see and try to find what you're looking for, okay? And you see annual report and all these things and meetings and materials and you know, this is going all the way back to their 2021 and so on and so forth. And you're like, well, professor, I don't know what I'm looking for, what I should find, because you don't want to navigate their website, right? It could be confusing. Every website's different, every company's different. So you may have to spend some time to find it. Or what I did was I just Googled their 10K, right? I Googled Allstate 10K filing, which is filed through the SEC, the regulatory organization that deals with these type of things. And I think I found it. Well, let's see. Looks like a 10K to me. 230 pages. Yeah, that sounds like a 10K, right? It says Form 10K. So I'm doing you a favor. I'm showing you, ways to find things quicker. I'm showing you the traditional way. You go on their investor webpage, you look at their page, and you try to find their 10K. Maybe do a search or something. Google's pretty smart, so might help you find it faster. So here's the 10K. Now this is what we're going to use to find some of our information for this assignment. You are not going to go through 230 pages. Okay, if you decide in the future you want to become a forensic accountant, then you would like to go through 230 pages. If you decide to become an analyst, you will want to become familiar with a 10K. You do not need to know everything on here. In fact, you don't need to know much of anything on here. In fact, if you look at the instructions, it even tells you. Tip: when you obtain a company's 10K filing for their main website under the investor section, you can find the specific information you need by performing a search or find. Control F within the PDF file. So I put that tip there for you. All right, that's my tip for you. So if you didn't even watch this video, I put all the tips for you here. The Wikipedia links, the instructions on where to find everything, where to find a 10K, and how to navigate the 10K. So going back to the second section here, one of the specific questions, find the company's top revenue source. Find how the company breaks down its total revenue. So you will probably want to take some of these words here, top revenue source, top revenue, and you may want to see if you can find those words in the 10K to give you the answer you're looking for. Okay? So if I type in revenue, just a simple word revenue, it's going to bring up a lot of revenue. It's going to bring up revenue comes up. It's still tabulating how many times the word revenue comes up, 67 times, right? So if I type in top revenue, oh, 0. So what am I looking for? Revenue source. Why am I doing this? Because a company's 10K is sometimes unique to the company, right? They may or may not necessarily use the same wording, even though they generally follow and adhere to the GAAP principles, general accounting principles. There may be some wording they use that's a little different. They may use or express a word that's not quite the same way as to how another company may use. So I wanted to just show you this. So you're looking for the company's revenue, top revenue source. So you have to find the revenue. When I type in revenue source, top before, name, primary, I'm not getting anything else. Okay. So what is lots of revenue? And one of the things I want to take a look at, and if I told you their main revenue source was one of these, you probably have a good guess. But I want to actually scroll up and I want to look at the table of contents. So this project is helping you sort of navigate a 10K. Let me just X this out for a second here. It's to help you understand what a 10K is. If you're trying to analyze or understand a business, the 10K doesn't require you to need to become a knowledgeable expert of accounting. You just have to be familiar with what a business looks like financially. The data here helps you understand what the business is doing, the health of the business, the welfare of the business. It's sort of like taking your blood work, and the doctor looks at your blood work, and based upon what they see, you're able to make a decision as to your health and well-being, whether or not you're deficient in something, or you need more of something, or you have a problem or health issue. They look at your blood work. The 10K is sort of like that. It's like being able to look at a company's blood work. Being able to look at a company's financials helps you understand the business better. So these questions that they're asking is to get you to look into the business. Let's get you to understand what's going on in the business. And that's why they're asking these questions. Who are the CEOs? Which a lot of this information is in the 10K. You know, their company, their address, which is over here. All their information is here. It's very transparent, and they're wanting you to look. So by using Control F or Finder, I can find the word revenue. So now I don't have to read 230 pages of information. I can just click through the revenue. Let's just look at total revenue. Oh, okay. Insurance premiums increase in property liability, and go through it. Summarize. This is a summarized financial results. And we see the revenues. Now, keep in mind, this is in millions, right? So we see 42,218. It's not $42,218. It's in millions. So you're going to add How many zeros in a million? 6 zeros. So add 6 zeros, and that's how much revenue you have. So they're making a lot of revenue, right? So big numbers here. So make sure when you put your revenue numbers, if you put the same number, 42,218, whatever number your company is, make sure to look here to see what is it. Is it in, it's in millions? Okay, so make sure you state it's in millions. They're not making 42,000 a year, trust me. Making a lot more than that. And we're looking at the revenue. So it says here revenue, property and casualty insurance premiums, accident health insurance premiums, contract charges, other revenue. Well, you can see from this number, what's their top revenue source? Property and casualty insurance premiums. Okay, so we could see, we just answered our question, what's their top revenue source? So I wanted to show you that sometimes you can type in words, it won't be exact to what's being asked, but if you know what you're looking for, you can search the word revenue and just find what you're looking for. This will help you save a lot of time instead of going through 230 pages of whatever. You could type in the word revenue and just start digging, and you can find what you're looking for, right? And I can keep looking out of curiosity to see what else is here. Maybe I want to see what their other revenue sources are, if they're very specific about that. But I was able to find the question that we were looking for pretty quickly. So I don't need to go into too much detail here, but the 10K is highly detailed for that purpose. So we can find all the information in 10K. Whatever is asking here for the 10K, you can find it. You Google 10K, the company, you pull it up, you do a finder or control F, you find what you need, boom. Okay, you get it very quickly. We went over competitive environment. You're going to then find a competitor. You can Google what a competitor is of that company on the S&P. Find a lot of the similar information that you've found already, which we've done very quickly, and use it to answer these questions. And when it comes to this competitor weakness threat, you could literally copy this, use this same format to help answer the question. What are some strengths they have? What are their weaknesses, their opportunities, their threats? It's following a SWOT analysis. And you can use that. Here, you should be, here, they want you to write it out, about 3 paragraphs, but they're also asking for a quick synopsis as a table for conclusion. It says 2 to 4 pages. Because this is an accelerated class, I'm okay with you doing 2 pages. You know, a lot of information. I'm just concerned that you can follow instructions, do some basic research, and tell me what I want to know. I don't need 4 pages. If you do 4 pages, great, but I don't need that. Do 2 pages, okay? You've got a lot of work to do this semester. You have some of the students who have a lot of catching up. If you're making a presentation for a business, professionally, people are going to fall asleep if you talk too much. I guess I'm talking too much, right? People can get bored. People lose focus. So you want to be to the point. If you can answer something in 2 pages, do it in 2 pages. Don't do it in 4 pages. If you do it in 4 pages, it's because you have to tell me that. That information is so critical, so important. I have to know. Then tell me in 4 pages. If you can tell me in 2 pages, tell me in 2 pages. Why should I spend time reading 2 pages of material versus 4 pages if you can tell it to me in 2 pages, right? Do I want to spend more time learning about something, or do I want to spend less time learning about something? Do I want to absorb information faster, or do I want to absorb information slower? So in business, especially when you're looking at a company report, a business analysis is always a summary or a synopsis. And that summary, sometimes referred to as the executive summary, summarizes a long report, because an executive doesn't have time to go over every single detail, but they want a summary, high-level summary. And then if there's something specific they want to review, you can then dig into the deeper part of it. So I say less is more. Just answer the question. Make sure you're specific. There's truly an art form to being able to answer something succinctly and specifically and effectively versus being wordy and over-explaining. So if you over-explain something and give too much fact and detail, that's okay, because there's more to know and more to learn. But the art of taking that and condensing it and distilling it and refining it can sometimes take way more time than actually making something 4 pages versus distilling it down to 2 pages without compromising quality of information or quality of detail. So do 2 pages. If you want to do 4, go ahead. Just make sure you are answering what needs to be answered. So if you tell me the answer in 1 sentence, and I feel like that's not sufficient because it didn't answer the question properly, that's not sufficient. So you have an objective and a goal to answer the question effectively. I just don't need you to feel like, oh, well, it's got to be 4 pages, so I'll just sort of say the same thing in 3 paragraphs 3 more times. No, right? Quality. So be qualitative about it. Be specific in explaining the answer, right? So if you say the company's strength is this, why? The competitor's weakness is that, why is it a weakness? So if their weakness is ABCD, why is it ABCD? Its weakness is ABCD because it doesn't know the alphabet. And then the question is, why doesn't it know the alphabet? Because no one taught him it. So not a great explanation, but through me asking why or how, those are questions that are creating more detailed response that's allowing me to be more qualitative. When you're trying to create quality, this goes for all essays you may write in the future or are currently writing, any papers, English papers or things, explanations. When you're trying to explain something in detail, when you present a solution or an answer, if you can ask yourself questions about that solution or answer, answering those questions helps to elaborate on the thing you're answering. So, for example, if I said Allstate's revenue is primarily premiums, I can ask myself why. Because Allstate is primarily an insurance company. And premiums, the word premium, is defined as a payment or a coupon made from a customer in receipt given in exchange for coverage for insurance of indemnity of accident or liability in relation to whatever the contract says. That's the technical definition of insurance, which is pulled through many other claimants who pool their money together to spread risk across a pool of individuals. And if I said, why? And the reason being for why insurance exists, or the reason being why Allstate's primary revenue source is from insurance, which is X, Y, and Z, is because the need for insurance is great. Because insurance has existed since thousands of years as a way to spread risk and liability across individuals. So if I have one bad apple in a bucket, that one bad apple can make the whole bucket go bad. So that apple in that bucket could create a chain reaction that can affect everything. And what does that have to do with the point I'm making? Well, what if I didn't put that one apple in that bag? What if I had 10 apples in the bag and I had one bag for each individual apple and said, well, if one of these apples goes bad, it's not going to ruin the whole bunch because each apple is in its own bag. So I'm going to carry 10 different bags. And that's one way you could say of dealing with the risk or managing risk, is by making those adjustments or changes in the situation. Sometimes you can't manage risk. Sometimes you don't know when risk is going to hit you. Because of that, That's where insurance comes into play. Insurance in particular, you pay a premium, goes into a pool of money. If something happens, that pool helps cover the individual who suffered the problem. You may not ever suffer the problem. You may be paying into an insurance policy, never suffer the problem. But that's why you pay insurance, because if you do, everyone's money that they pull together helps to cover the individual. And that's sort of the concept of insurance. The reason why I made that whole explanation is because I didn't just explain why Allstate's insurance is the most important part of the revenue, the top revenue source. I didn't just explain the definition of insurance or an example of insurance or risk management. I explained the ecosystem as to why society benefits from insurance, because and how it functions is that people give money to pool their risk together to reduce their joint risk as a society. And when I understand that, and you understand that, you can then say, oh, well, that makes sense as to why Allstate's major business, their top revenue, is insurance, because it's a really important part of society. I don't need you to explain to me all of that if you chose Allstate. But what I am saying, though, is that when you ask questions, why, how, to a statement, you then begin to get layers of explanations that then creates a paragraph. So sometimes when you have to write a paragraph or a page about something, you're having a hard time trying to analyze, how can I say more? Start asking yourself questions about the thing you're writing about, and you start to expand upon it. So this is a tip I'm telling you to help with your writing, English tip or writing tip in general. But for this situation, I'm telling you to be succinct and brief. I don't want you to be wordy. I want you to be detailed. Okay, so less isn't necessarily more, but more nonsense that's not saying the same different thing is not better. So the reason why I gave the example to ask why is that can also help you be succinct, because you could answer the question and elaborate in an effective manner, as adding value to the statement. So that's why I'm spending a lot of time going over this. So when I'm reading what you're saying, I feel confident in knowing that what you're writing is qualitative, not quantitative. Quantity is size. Quality is how good something is. This helps you to produce more quality material with writing less junk, because students often feel pressured to just write 2 to 4 pages and they don't know what to write about. So they just kind of say some stuff to get 4 pages out, and they double space and increase indent and in size. And we know the tricks. I don't want to be bothered looking at a document that's 16 font and double spaced because you think I don't know what you're doing. That doesn't impress me. I made the 4 pages, Mark. I made 2 pages. No, that's not. Don't waste my time. Don't waste your time doing that. I'm telling you, this is how you create quality. Okay, you don't have to waste your time writing a lot, but you can really explain qualitatively what the answer needs to be. Okay, so I did spend a lot of time going over writing and qualitative stuff. I think that's for your learning, your personal learning, as this is sort of acting in some capacity as a class. And I think that's important for you to learn going forward in your school and in your personal life. The asking how, why, where, when, how, those questions, you ask them, it helps you expand upon things qualitatively. So I'm just scrolling down a bit because the second part of this is the company presentation. And that's where you did all this research, which we just went over, pretty easy to do. Showed you where to get everything, how to do it, how to think through it. Now the second part is the presentation. Okay, I have an explanation on how you can go about doing that. I may put you in groups, I may not. I'm debating not doing groups, considering the classroom size. I'll let you know as we get closer to the day. But essentially, you would take your presentation, which you're going to do, and you would take the work that you just did, which is your research report, and you're presenting that to them. Okay, so you're presenting the research report you just did, or will do, I should say. And you're just talking to me. You're presenting to me like you would, we're not in an actual live classroom. So you would normally stand in front of a live classroom and do a presentation and blah, blah, blah. And you show some slides, but we're not in a live classroom. And I'm probably not going to pull up a Zoom video link and everyone log in and we have a class session, you talk and you screen share. I just want you to make a presentation and upload it. Okay, so it's a presentation. I don't need the presentation to have PowerPoint slides, but I do need you to submit that as part of your assignment. And that's probably more important to me because it represents what your presentation would look like, but you do want to record yourself. I don't want to get too much into the company presentation right now because you can see it begins November 28th, which is a little bit around the time when the actual company research project is due. So I will do another video like this when we get to that point, going over the explanation, what to do, how to do it. I'll walk you through it. Probably even easier than the company project because I just showed you how to do it. Literally, if you can download Zoom and record yourself and upload it in 5 minutes, you're done. So it could be that simple for you, okay? And the topics are here. The presentation topics would literally be the material that you've just gone over, and you're just sort of highlighting it on a high level over a couple of minutes of conversation, which I don't want to hear you talk for 15 minutes because talking at someone for 15 minutes is not effective unless the material is very dense. You just provided me a whole company research report. Why would you talk to me for 30 minutes or 15 minutes about something that you just presented to me? I could read it. So your presentation is designed to highlight or capture the key points, okay? So there's 4 main areas or 4 sections. You're summarizing those 4 sections. You're highlighting those sections, the most important factors. It's like a high-level overview. So if your boss said, hey, I saw that company report. It was 200 pages. Break it down to me. Right? You're going to sit there and talk about 200 pages? No. So what's the most important things your boss needs to know? Or maybe you're the boss and you're making a presentation to investors. So you want to boom, 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 right? Time is money. We don't have time. So make it worth your time. Be effective. I will go more into this in detail later, okay? So right now, the only thing you're focusing on is the company research report. I just went over how to do it. Hopefully you actually watched this whole video, because if you did, you know how to do this and you will be able to do it very quickly, very efficiently, very effectively. If you didn't watch the video, but you're watching this part, guess what? I still give you instructions here, tips, how to go about doing it. So you'll be okay. Right? Just make sure you go on Blackboard, go on discussion, post your topic, the company you want to choose, and do that as soon as possible, okay? And this is an instructional video for week 4, highlighting what you need to do for the company research report, also highlighting specifically how to go about doing it. So now you know what to do. Now you know where to find your research. Now you know what websites to go to. Now you know how to Google find this, Google find that, where all the answers are. So you can knock this out pretty quickly. But I do want to show you one last thing, okay? And so we know we can find the assignment in week 4, but what week is it due again? So we click on week 6. And you see the company project individual submission, okay? So this is where you're gonna submit the company project report. So you're gonna upload, browse attached file, upload it. Make sure you click on what needs to be clicked on, submit. There you go. I wanna show you that the submission is in week 6 because you have 4, 5, and 6 to work on this. Okay, that's why I wanted to show you where it is, where you submit it, so you don't think you have to go back to week 4 to submit it. It's in the week is due. Okay, and you also see in week 6 is when the second half of the presentation begins. So now you start working on presentation throughout the rest of the semester. You don't need the rest of the semester to do that. You know, 4 slides, 1 for each section. Zoom record yourself for a couple of minutes discussing it. Take it seriously, present professionally. It'd be my first time seeing your faces in context to having a conversation, but it's not that difficult. Okay, it's not that time consuming, and that's why I want to share this with you, because this class is a grind. It's 8 weeks. It doesn't have to be that difficult. It doesn't have to be challenging. So I want to show you how you can really be effective and quick about getting it done, and being effective in delivering a high quality project, a high quality deliverable without taking up too much time. And I'm showing you this and making you think this way because it's business, right? You're in business, time is money. So be effective, be qualitative, be efficient, okay? And if you have any questions, email me. Always email me. Some of you might be shy, don't be shy, okay? I respond back very quickly on my email. So if you have any questions about this, email me. If you want to ask me any questions, email me. And everyone take care.